So recently, someone asked me a shvere shaileh. Basically, cut onions with a milchike knife that was an Eina ben Yoimei. Took those onions and mixed them in a batter of chopped meat to make hamburgers. Took those hamburgers with those onions and put them in a fleishike oven and made them. And then took them out. And then remembered that the onions were cut with a milchike knife. I mean, that's like basically the worst case scenario. You cut onions with a milchike knife, mix them with flesh, put them in the onions. So the shaileh really that they have it is on the oven, not specifically on the hamburgers. So let's discuss it. Minakal el akovet. What's the din of the hamburgers? And then let's see if we could figure out what the din with the oven would be. So the din is that normally when you cut something cold, no tam comes out, no taste comes out. All you need to do is wash it, you do adocher. However, if the cold thing is a dover chorif, it's something sharp, and there's duchye de sakina, there's pressure from a knife, that combination takes out tam even if it's cold. So therefore, when we chop the onion with a milchike knife, tam did come out in the milchike knife, and it went into the onion. So the onion now has tam of taste of milk. However, the onion was an Eina ben Yoimei, which means it wasn't used for 24 hours. And the halacha b'derech klal is that if it wasn't used for 24 hours, it's called nesen tam levgam. It's a spoiled taste, and it's not considered taste b'diavad. So the shaileh would be here: is the tam from the onion considered nesen tam levgam? We have a b'choikes of the shainim brought in Shulchan Aruch, and the halacha is that by a dover chodif, by something sharp, it has the koyach to sweeten the taste and to take the taste that was spoiled and turn it into fresh taste. Which means the tam that came out of the onion now into the knife into the onion now is considered fresh taste. So it's as if you cut the onion with a ben yoimei knife. So now these onions became 100% milky. And the din is that a milchike onion, kemuvon, obviously you cannot eat with flesh. So there's no shaileh bedover that the hamburgers are treif gomer. You have flesh together with a milchike onion that you put. If you're not able to take out the onions from the hamburger, there's no shaileh bedover, you can't eat the hamburger. If you could take out the onions from the hamburger, that is the next shaileh, which would also mean what's the shaileh of the oven. Now we discussed in one of the previous shailahs that a beliyah, a taste that's absorbed into something, doesn't come out beloy reitiv. So if we analyze this shaileh properly, what really happened is that the onion has a beliyah of milk. When you put it into the oven, it's beloy reitiv. The achronim all say the halacha of reitiv, of liquid, to extract tam from a bliyah, to extract a bliyah from a meichel, needs to have like reitiv, like it's cooking in reitiv, a little bit of moisture, or the regular natural juice that comes out of any meichel, any food, even flesh, that's not considered reitiv. So now you take these hamburgers and you put them in the oven, so what are we worried about? We're worried about that the tam, the taste from the onion, is going to go out into the hamburger, and then from the hamburger into the oven. I'm not even sure the taste will go into the hamburger, because it's a bliyah, and a bliyah doesn't go out below reitiv. Now, we have to remember that from the hamburger to the onion, it's certainly going to make the onion usher, because the hamburger is not a bliyah, it's not an absorption, it's in the machmas atzmai, it's it itself. That for sure would give time to the onion. So the onion would become tereif no matter what, even if I remove the onion. The shaileh would be, does the hamburger become usher from the onion? So based on what we're saying right now, l'cha'ira, it's a bliyah, an absorption doesn't come out below reitiv. So although the onion certainly became treif because it now has within it tam from the cold knife that you cut, a dover chorev, so tam came out, plus from the hot hamburger, they both now are in the onion, so the onion is treif. But l'cha'ira, if you were able to remove the onion from the hamburger would be kosher. Now if the hamburger is be'etzim kosher, and no tam could come out of the onion, and the hamburger is be'etzim kosher, certainly the oven is kosher. That's what it would seem on first glance. However, the halacha clearly says that if a davar shoming, something fatty, absorbed itself into a meichel, then it does come out below reitiv. The whole halacha that a bliyah doesn't come out below reitiv only applies to something that's kochush, something that's lean. And milk, in many achronim and rishonim say that milk is gladly considered lean, kochush, according to many poskim. But other foods, other meicholim, cheeses, v'kayotze b'zeh, and I think we once discussed it in a different shaileh, has shamnunis, has fattiness. And if it's shomein, a shomein will be yotze, beloy reitiv will come out beloy reitiv. So if that's the case, although the halacha is that we're baki, we consider ourselves baki when you have kochosh and shomein, in this particular case of a bliyah, now's not the time to explain that. But that's only if one can know for sure that the tam, the taste that went into the knife was kochush. We would rely on your bekiyas, on your knowledge. But if you have no idea what it was, you assume you probably used the knife for pizza or other type of foods, cheeses, that might have very well been shomin. So my whole heter that the bliya won't come out below reitiv, l'cha'oira will not apply. So we have to assume there's a possibility that the tam in the onion is shomin, is fatty, so it would come out and now asa the hamburger. Once that tam asses the hamburger, it's also shomin. So together with the hamburger, basar b'chola will now, through the zeya, through the steam of the hamburger, or the spritz of the hamburger, will befedish asa the oven. However, it's a shvere shaileh, so I did a little bit of research, and I found that many achronim actually say like this. The whole din that an onion, even an eine ben yoimei, is a problem, is a machloikis. And the halacha is the eine ben yoimei is a problem by an onion. The Alter Rebbe brings it clearly in Simitov Mem Zayin, kol dover chorev afilu eine ben yoimei is a problem. But the achronim do add, from many other shittis, that if there's another sniff lahakil, if there's another svara to be makel, we could be mitzadef the poskim that say that an eine ben yoimei is okay by an onion. We could be mitzadef the poskim. Here there are other sniffim, other svaras to be makel. For example, there are some poskim that would say that the knife, you go bosa roif tashmishay, and here again is not the time to discuss this. Roif tashmishay means usually a knife is not used for hot, it's used for cold. That was the kind of knife. And therefore, bechlal doesn't need to be kasher, according to many poskim. It's not even milk. And there are another number of other svaras lahakal. For example, some would say onions are not considered chorev, etc. So some want to taina that if you have another svara lahakil, you could be mitzadef in certain cases. The fact that you don't need to kash it, you could say then that eine ben yoimoi would not be a problem. So therefore, in this case, b'shas hatchak, number one, it's very possible that the bliya was kochosh, it wasn't even shomer. So then you have the heter that the bliya doesn't come out below reitiv. Benoisef lozeh was eine ben yoimoi. Benoisef lozeh, you have the svara of reif tashmishay and other svaras. So therefore, b'shas hatchak mamish, you could probably get away without having to kasher the oven. However, because it's a stretch, so I did tell the person to do whatever he can. In other words, if you can kasher the oven, if with a libun gomer, do a libun gomer. If not, then you could also use a sniff to rely on other poskim to put the oven on the highest temperature for an hour or two, even if it doesn't reach the libun gomer process completely.